Welcome back to The Hill. So we are now getting a picture of what the country could look like at the end of the century, and it could hinge largely on one major policy issue: immigration. New U.S. Census projections show the population peaking in 2080 before turning downward to 366 million people in the year 2100. But the wild swings you see there on this graph depend essentially on how much immigration or how little immigration there might be in the U.S. The high would be, this is basically for a kid who was born today. What's the population going to be like when they're 80, give or take? And I found it fascinating that I found two things interesting here. That there's a massive swing with immigration, obviously, if there's no policy, no immigration, or whatever the policy is. And we're only projecting like a 10% increase over the next 70 years or so.
No, and look, birth rates are down. It's very expensive to have a child. I have to say I am very happy that May Mailman is adding to her family and helping us all out. But we're seeing this, that it's not adding enough. And if we want Social Security and other things to be viable, we're going to have people working and paying for that. And so it is a problem if we don't have smart immigration policies that actually Democrats and Republicans largely agree on, then we're going to have problems.
But this is like one of the things that Democrats and Republicans, like, is there going to be massive immigration reform in the next several decades? Like, there has,
a plan sitting with your, coalition of problem solvers that they have a plan?
Oh, sure. There's a lot of really good immigration plans right now. The problem is that the head of our party is absolutely against it. He's not. I shouldn't say that. That's not fair. Donald Trump was for some more legal immigration. He's harshly against illegal immigration, but there's a lot of Republicans who don't like immigration at all, and that is a problem. National wealth, national income is a function of two things: your population times your productivity. And I'm sorry to get really geeky. I'm going to put my old Office of Management Budget hat on for a second. When the population is going down, unless your productivity for every person who's still around goes up dramatically, you are going to be dramatically poorer as a nation.
What about AI?
That is a problem.
Yeah.
That's the productivity thing. So, but can AI make up for these types of numbers? You've never seen that in the history of technology.
But I think so obviously having a substantial working age population is useful, like who's going to buy our houses, who's going to take care of us when we're old. So it's important. But I think that just looking at this as high immigration, medium immigration, low immigration misses the point of what type of immigration. I think this is what Johanna was getting to. We really need to think strategically about the needs that our country has and put that type of
You said something
together.
really, really sharp, which is who's going to take care of us and who's going to buy our houses, because that's how we save money, right? Robots and machines will be able to help take care of us. No one's going to buy your house, which means all of your savings goes to zero. That's what I talk about when the country getting dramatically poorer if you don't have dramatic increases in productivity.
And when we talk about comprehensive immigration reform, I think too much gets focused on border security, which is a critical part of comprehensive immigration reform. But we got to look at like business visas and education visas and all these other things to encourage the right kind of to encourage an immigration workforce that reflects the needs of Americans while we get our own folks up to the point where they can take those jobs. And that allows us to stay ahead of the curve, allows us to compete globally. And so I think what gets missed a lot in the comprehensive immigration reform is that discussion. I would love to see more of that discussion in Congress.
So thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.